CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a chaotic scene at Sunfest last night. The four-day festival was winding down when an altercation broke out involving London police. There was a massive armed response leading to charges against two teenagers. With more, here's Brent Lale.
It was panic in the park.
Some confusion, some banging, what sounded like, I'm not sure what it sounded like, firecrackers or something, even maybe gunshots at the first.
As Sunfest wrapped up Sunday night, a confrontation took place on the edge of Victoria Park between teenagers and police.
We had officers present at the festival, and they observed some people setting off fireworks towards the crowd. So our officers intervened to try and take care of that, but while making that arrest, they got surrounded by the crowd who turned against them.
As the incident escalated,
officers started getting hit with bottles, rocks, fireworks thrown at them. So we asked for more resources. We had more officers attend. We asked for our emergency response unit to attend, our public order unit, who came and took care of the situation.
We spoke with Sunfest organizers at Victoria Park this morning who declined our request for an interview. They issued a brief statement in which they said they were aware of the incident and the safety of everyone attending Sunfest is their highest priority. They added they are reviewing the incident with community partners and police. Police say their massive response was not a reaction to the recent fatal shooting at a Toronto festival.
We had officers in the park on directed patrols. They actually observed this behavior, so we knew it was fireworks at the time, but we brought in the appropriate resources.
Christopher Bogle grabbed his camera.
It was nonstop sirens. It just went on forever. Emergency task force came in. They surrounded the whole perimeter of the park. And you know what? I've never seen something like this in my life. And I believe that the London Police Service, they did an amazing job by containing the situation.
Police say a 17-year-old and 16-year-old have been arrested and face multiple charges.
Unlawful assembly, assaulting a police officer with a weapon, possession of explosive devices, which are fireworks in this case.
The young offenders remain in custody as police ask for members of the public with video or knowledge of the incident to contact them. Brent Lale, CTV News.
More questions than answers at City Hall as councillors discussed creating a team of special constables who would be dispatched by City Hall rather than London Police.
It just seems like, again, another team. Do we need that many teams? Do the police just get more special constables? So many questions.
So now we're saying, oh, well, as a city, we're going to have our own team so we get faster access to service than the general public.
We did have a historic police budget, so I am interested to see if we can use some of that money to pay for that.
Special constables would not carry guns, but they would have defensive equipment like batons and pepper spray. A consultant's report recommended they fill an enforcement gap between bylaw officers and London Police. The committee voted in favor of getting a report early next year about launching a $2 million per year pilot project with 11 City Hall special constables patrolling city properties.
More legislative authority, more ability to act, more ability to protect public buildings, more ability to protect staff who work for us, municipal council, who we have a responsibility to protect. And all we have to do is go to the next step of getting more information and then decide then.
Environment Canada officials have extended a yellow heat warning for our region. Daytime highs are expected to top 30 degrees until Thursday. Factoring in the humidex, it'll likely feel like 43 tomorrow in London. Health experts recommend limiting time outdoors and staying hydrated. And Julie Atchison will have more on the weather story coming up a little later in the newscast. Meanwhile, there may soon be more help from City Hall for low-income seniors in need of air conditioning.
Seniors who are on OAS or CPP might just make above the low-income cutoff and therefore not qualify, but also not really have enough money to be able to invest in an air conditioning unit.
There was unanimous agreement to have city staff report back about expanding eligibility to more low-income seniors. The mayor says senior levels of government should be lobbied as well to ensure City Hall doesn't take on that cost. One councillor said he'd bring forward a motion at next week's meeting mandating all seniors living in London public housing be provided air conditioners.
Why don't we just mandate that at least the rental units that we control, through our service manager and through our contracts, provide this level of decency to our tenants.
There's growing support for a ban on private driving schools giving lessons on 4 residential streets in South London.
There's a petition. I dropped off the original to the clerk, so that's in her possession with almost 90 signatures, and you'd see around 13 more letters on the agenda.
Locals say driving instructors and their students have overwhelmed 4 residential streets practicing 3-point turns and parallel parking. They're the same streets where ministry driving tests are conducted. A councillor's motion asking staff to examine how the business licensing bylaw could prohibit private lessons on those streets was supported unanimously. Emergency responders were called out for a water rescue late this afternoon. According to police, a resident called 911 after spotting a woman floating motionless in the water near downtown London. London Fire Water Rescue Team members were able to bring her to shore. She was reportedly unresponsive at first, but vital signs were present. Eventually, responders said they were able to get her talking, and she was taken to hospital. Local education workers say recent cuts at the Thames Valley School Board will put more pressure on staff who they say are already stretched. The board faces a projected multi-million-dollar deficit, making hundreds of staffing changes ahead of the new school year. With more, here's Rita Ismail.
The Thames Valley District School Board's preliminary budget projects a $22.1 million deficit and includes the elimination of more than 150 full-time positions. Among the reductions are nearly 30 early childhood educator positions, which the board says are tied to declining enrollment.
Everybody is overworked, less staff. A lot of it has to do with the funding cuts that is not being provided by the Ford government, which is, if you ask me, a neglect.
But while some positions are being reduced, the board says it is also adding staff in areas where demand is increasing. The board is adding 18 educational assistant positions, 12 of them in special education. In a statement to CTV News, TVDSB says this year's changes reflect an expected decline of nearly 2,800 students, while also including investments in special education supports, Indigenous education, targeted learning initiatives, and staffing for new schools. Henry says the board should be looking more closely at administrative costs rather than frontline positions.
If you are trying to do your cuts because you're trying to save your deficit and to rebuild and stuff like that, you need to look at other avenues instead of the direct areas where the students need it the most. When you calculate the math at $40,000, $50,000 and you hire one superintendent, that could be 4 or more support persons put in the school to assist the students' needs.
The Education Minister Paul Calandra's office declined our interview request. In a statement, the minister's press secretary says staffing notices are part of the normal process ahead of the school year, and final staffing levels will not be determined until September, once enrollment numbers are confirmed. The preliminary budget is expected to go before the board for final approval later this summer. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Canadian health officials are warning about a rapid rise in tick-borne infections. It's not Lyme disease, though. This is called anaplasmosis, and it's showing up in several provinces.
Last year, we did 11 sites, and we only found 18 ticks. This year, we did 2 sites and found almost 170 ticks. So that's a huge difference. If you haven't had a tick on you, I can guarantee you that either you or somebody that you know is going to get a tick on you soon, because that's how prevalent they are.
Black-legged ticks transmit Lyme disease and anaplasmosis through bites. Symptoms can include fever, weakness, headache, and gastrointestinal distress. According to the Canadian Medical Association Journal, recognizing the disease early and getting treatment can prevent life-threatening complications. A Canadian nonprofit is embarking on an education campaign boosting AI awareness and literacy. With more on that plan and its founder's goals, here's Allison Bamford.
Not too long ago, Alex Fallon didn't know much about artificial intelligence.
I've kind of been learning as I go.
Now he uses it every day.
I kept your last cigarette in the glove box like a relic.
Drawing inspiration for poetry in his spare time.
So I'll take what it provides and then I'll make it into my own.
And developing briefing notes and presentations at work. Fallon is the founder of Artificial Intelligence Saskatchewan, a nonprofit dedicated to growing the use of AI across the province.
Providing people with the opportunity to learn about AI gives them the chance to decide for themselves to what extent they want to use it in their home life and in their workplace.
The organization is developing a program to teach the basics of AI, what it is, what it can do, and the guardrails in place, intended as a stepping stone for beginners.
For AI to spread, more and more people need to start using it.
The program follows the release of Ottawa's national AI strategy last month that set goals of making Canadians more AI literate and boosting the number of businesses that use AI from the current 12% to 60% by 2034.
Canadians in general are quite literate compared to the global population, but also a little bit hesitant.
Western University's Chief AI Officer Mark Daly says hesitancy is a sign that Canadians are literate and understand AI enough to think critically of it.
I'm an educator, so of course I think the solution for hesitancy and fear is education. If you understand what it is you're dealing with, then it's easier to integrate that into your life.
AI literacy is a spectrum. Fallon says he isn't an expert, but experimenting with the tools has been one of the best ways to learn.
What could I ask it to do?
AI Sask has a goal of teaching 10,000 people, whether that's individuals, small businesses, or not-for-profits. They plan to launch their courses in the fall. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Electric bikes and scooters are growing in popularity, and as they become more common, so do scooter-related injuries. With more on one family's warning about the risks, here's Garrett Berry.
Jaden King just wants to get back to living.
Get out, change arms, and go back on the quad.
Hunting, fishing, getting out around the bay, out to the country in rural Newfoundland.
He loves to be dropped off in the middle of nowhere, walk to a pond with his fishing rod and his tent, and spend the whole day there.
He has taken these first steps, but it's a long road back, weeks in hospital after a traumatic electric scooter accident in May.
70 days. Too much.
He was driving the scooter with a friend on the back when he lost control of the machine.
Went face forward into the pavement, and the boy that was on the back of him came down on top of Jaden.
The helmet he was wearing surely saved his life, but still, injuries to his head were severe. Doctors needed to remove part of his skull to relieve the pressure of swelling in the brain. Jaden says he can't remember anything, but his mom, Amy Richards, remembers it all.
It's a feeling I never want to feel again, and I hope that no parent has to go through it.
Electric bikes and scooters are governed by a real patchwork of laws across the country. Different cities have different rules about how fast you can go and where they can be used. But as they're becoming way more popular, especially among children and young adults, more people are calling for stricter regulations, and more experts are weighing in on the dangers of these machines.
Parents don't realize how fast these machines are and how big they are and how dangerous they can be.
According to the Canadian Centre for Health Information, there are more and more people sent to the hospital because of e-scooter injuries across the country. Almost 500 between April 2023 and March 2024. That's up 32% from the year prior. Officials here in Newfoundland and Labrador have pledged a review and new legislation addressing these machines in the fall. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
A multi-vehicle crash closed a section of Highbury yesterday morning. London police say 3 vehicles were involved just north of Manning Drive around 8 a.m. Sunday. 2 of the vehicles had left the road on the west side of Highbury. According to police, 2 people from one of the vehicles were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Delays are expected in London's North End as construction begins on the J.W. Carson Bridge. The closure affects Clark Road between Veterans Memorial Parkway and Fanshawe Park Road East. According to city officials, the project is meant to extend the bridge's lifespan while accommodating expected growth in the area. Northbound traffic will be detoured along Clark Road, Huron Street, Highbury Avenue, and Fanshawe Park Road East. Southbound drivers will be directed to use Fanshawe Park, Highbury, Huron, and Clark. A major community donation was presented this weekend in Ilderton. Local business owner Glenn Powell gave out $1 million to 50 local organizations, each getting $20,000. Those groups include churches, cemeteries, local sports organizations, nonprofits, and fire halls. The announcement also coincided with the village's 150th anniversary celebrations.
I thought I'd like to do it now and really help the nonprofit organizations that the people don't really appreciate in the churches and the cemeteries. You know, they all have to operate.
Some of the beneficiaries include the Surrey Therapeutic Riding Program and the Ilderton Skating Club. Still ahead, new life for old tech, why young people are opting for flip phones to disconnect from social media. Oil prices jumped following a weekend of attacks in the Middle East, while slumping AI stocks weighed on the market. In Toronto, the TSX lost 53 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 138. The Nasdaq fell 408. The Canadian dollar up a minimal 1/100th of a cent. On commodity markets, gold fell more than $100 an ounce. Oil gained about $6.70 a barrel. 2 people were killed in Toronto this weekend when gunfire rang out during a summer street festival. It's raising concerns about crowd control and renewing the national debate over illegal firearms. With more, here's Judy Trin.
Gunfire at a Toronto salsa festival, sending crowds running for cover. 2 people shot dead, 5 others injured. The mayor of Canada's biggest city is vowing the summer tradition will continue.
We will not let reckless criminals stop Toronto's tradition of outdoor street festivals.
There were an estimated 13,000 people at the festival, including families with children. For people to continue attending these events, analysts say the public could demand a bigger police presence.
We can expect that there will be more tolerance for the police to use more of the techniques that private security uses in private venues, like things like using metal detectors or increased use of CCTV cameras and whatnot.
The Conservatives are blaming the brazen gun violence on the Liberal government and years of lax sentencing.
If you're a violent repeat offender, especially a gun offender, you should be removed from society for a very long time. And that will create the deterrence necessary to prevent gun violence.
Under pressure, the Liberals have made more than 80 changes to the criminal code to tighten bail and sentencing for repeat offenders.
Gang violence, tougher sentencing in around that. We really have tightened up the criminal code. We just got that through Parliament and has been signed off.
Toronto's police chief wants a new law to protect from guns being fired in public spaces.
When someone is shot and killed in a congregate setting, whether it's a stray bullet or because someone started a fight and pulled a gun, such offenses should be classified as first-degree murder.
Toronto's mayor is also calling for more cooperation between Canadian and American law enforcement to ensure that guns are not being smuggled into Canada. Statistics show that nearly half of all guns seized by police in Canada are from the U.S. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. Clear skies overnight and waking up to a hot day tomorrow. Temperatures first thing in the morning, already 23 degrees. By 8 o'clock, we're at 27. Thank you, Emil, for this photo of Cooper. Tomorrow will be a great beach day. Forecast high coming into the mid-30s, feeling like the mid-40s, and we have a heat warning. Stay with us. I'll tell you how long the heat will last and what you can expect as we head through the week.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie now. And I know earlier today we were talking about the potential for record-breaking temperatures today. It doesn't seem like that has happened for today. Still a chance though tomorrow.
Yeah, the record tomorrow is 35, but the forecast high tomorrow also 35.
All right.
So yes, we do have the chance to break a record. We have a widespread heat warning in effect. Temperatures through the day today climbing into the low 30s and feeling like the upper 30s, low 40s. It'll be intensely hot and humid as we head into your Tuesday. Tuesday will be the hottest day over the next 7. Well above normal for this time of year, but just 2 degrees shy of that record of 33 degrees, and that was set back in the 70s. All right, we have this huge upper ridge in place, a dome of heat encompassing the entire Great Lakes, but until we get to northern Ontario, and then that's where that dome shifts. So The Great Lakes Basin is under this dome of heat, so temperatures are extremely hot and humid for this time of year, but becoming increasingly hot and humid heading into tomorrow. So that ridge will continue to build over the area. We do have some showers on the northern periphery of the ridge itself. You can see some light rainfall just south of James Bay. Now, we're not in for any weather. Unfortunately, we don't have any rain in the forecast until we hit Friday night. We do have the possibility for a few showers, and we could see a little bit of light rainfall towards the Bruce Peninsula early Wednesday morning. Other than that, we are clear. Now, as this ridge starts to break down heading into the weekend, the heat will become less intense and temperatures will be dipping down just a bit, but still quite hot. It is, of course, summer, just we're out of that extreme heat. Overnight, we'll dip down between 20 and 23 degrees, so not much relief coming at night for many people. Forecast highs for your Tuesday, anywhere between 30 in Wyerton to 35. That's the forecast high. We could see 36 in Windsor tomorrow afternoon, and as we head off to the east, anywhere between 33 and 35 in most areas. So we will likely see some records broken. There was records breaking across parts of the southern prairies yesterday into today. So dealing with the heat in some areas out west as well. Hot start in the morning at 27 degrees, 35 the forecast high in the afternoon, and it will feel like 43. Over the next 7 days, we'll get out of the heat by Thursday. Still 29, but out of the 30 to feeling like the low to mid 40s. And then Friday, 29 degrees. Friday night, we could see some showers kick off into Saturday morning. We need the rain. It is so dry. Definitely hoping for some rain early Saturday morning, but clearing out by Saturday afternoon. Daytime highs, you can see 27 to 29 degrees over the weekend under a mix of sun and cloud. Now, note the 30% chance. So that means we could see a pop-up shower anytime, but we're not looking for anything in terms of widespread rainfall, unfortunately. Midwestern Ontario, it is going to be a hot day, looking for ways to keep cool tomorrow. Take it easy if you're working outdoors. Take lots of breaks, of course. Find a shady spot. We will have a nice breeze through the day, but it will be easing off in the evening. So that's, of course, when the atmosphere releases a lot of that heat that it's been storing through the day. So expect a very warm evening tomorrow. 29 degrees as we head into your Wednesday, and a mix of sun and cloud. Full sunshine on Thursday, and 28 and 27 degrees on a Friday, with a chance of nighttime rain Friday night. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. A study out of Alberta is shedding light on how much influence a smartphone can have on mental health. It was initiated by a teenager who wanted to try life with a flip phone instead. Kathy Lee has more on the results.
Scroll, tap, repeat. For many people, doom scrolling on their smartphone has become second nature. That's how it was for Jarrett Gross.
I always felt like I wasted a lot of time, and it was also hard to stop.
Last November, the 17-year-old decided to make some changes. So he ditched his smartphone for a flip phone where he could not access social media apps, and started noticing improvements in his overall well-being.
It's pretty good. I like it way better. I think life is better on a flip phone.
He wanted to know if those changes could be measured, so he asked some of his closest friends to take part in a case study. They switched to flip phones for a couple months while a psychologist conducted before and after brain scans. Dr. Blake Osmos led the experiment, which included a questionnaire.
In the measures for depression and stress levels, as well as anxiety, they dropped like immediately.
And for the brain scans,
what we saw is a decrease of those alpha brain waves in the frontal lobe, which can be correlated with brain fog.
Most of Gross's friends eventually returned to their smartphones, but he is still committed to his flip phone. The teen joins a growing trend of people seeking them out.
This is Nokia phone.
Jerry Edda runs an e-commerce business selling refurbished cell phones and says more and more people want the old school version.
5 years prior, it used to be just seniors that are buying flip phones. But right now we are seeing even the younger generation.
Ede adds that parents are also looking for flip phones for their kids.
And asks, why are you buying a flip phone for your kid? Because I don't want them to use social media.
Gross says he is more present now that he doesn't have easy access to social media on his cell phone, and he hopes his experience encourages others.
I can message people, call people,
to rethink their own screen time. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Finally tonight, back to Sunfest, and before the chaotic scenes last night, thousands of visitors had taken in the festivities throughout the weekend. Dozens of acts had been brought in from around the world, including an Indian folk trio who had to clear several hurdles just to get here on time. Brent Lale reports.
Rajasthani folk trio Saz from India had the crowd on its feet Sunday.
He thinks this is the first time he's had such a mix of an audience where who danced with him to Rajasthani songs that they know, and he said they all danced very well.
Dancing along right up front was Sunfest founder Alfredo Kasha. He became emotional when describing the hurdles it took to get Saz to London.
They were rejected over and over with their visa, and we said we were determined in bringing them, and finally we made it. Literally, they got their passport stamped 3 hours before the flight.
With help from London North Centre MP Peter Fragiscatos, they worked right down to the wire as members of Saz waited in India for clearance.
He collected the passport. He was in Delhi. He flew from Delhi to Bombay. They had his bags 2 hours from Delhi to Bombay. They had a 6-hour layover, then the 3.5 hours to Dubai, 14 hours to Toronto, and then 3 hours to London. So it took them about 34 odd hours, plus 2 days of nail-biting stuff. Is it going to happen, not happen? So I think there's a movie here somewhere.
Throughout the park, music was rocking on 4 different stages with people seeking shade from the heat. Both the food and artisan vendors were packed.
The logistics of setting up Sunfest, it took us pretty much the whole year to put together all the aspects. We are extremely happy and delighted that this particular weekend has been just truly an incredible and magical time.
You do not know how fortunate you are to have this man.
And Divya Bhatia praised Alfredo for his deep compassion for both people and culture.
Music brings us together irrespective of language and texture, and Alfredo has that in him.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.